Hey there, this is Jason and Paul, and we encourage you to follow us on Instagram at stateofloveandtrust_pod, where we can continue the conversation with you. Thanks for listening, and now, let's get to the show. Welcome everyone back to another episode of the State of Love and Trust, a Pearl Jam podcast. I'm one of your two hosts, Jason Kerepesi, and alongside me, as always, is
Paul Ghiglieri.
Paul, here we are. We are set to get into part 2 of our live guitar moments with Sergio and Luiz. Are you excited as I am?
I am excited for part D.
Part 2. That reminds me of Hot Shots Part 2.
Yeah, exactly.
And was John Voight in that as well? I don't remember.
He might have been.
Usual business off the top here, guys. Please get on the socials. Follow us at the stateofloveandtrust_pod on Instagram, and get on your podcast of choice, podcast viewer, podcast listener, podcast app.
Just rate, review, and subscribe.
That thing. There you go. That's the housekeeping I'm talking about.
That's what we want you to do. Do it.
A little bit of news off the top here before we get into the top 5 moments plus our own is we've got we have another live stream coming, right, Paul?
Yeah, but that's not nearly as important as chocolate, Jason.
That's true. Can you tell me about chocolate? Why are we getting chocolate? What's that all about?
Well, apparently Pearl Jam, they've shared details in the last week or so for 2 charitable causes for the Vitalogy Foundation. Mm-hmm. A box of band-themed chocolates in addition to the aforementioned stream of their epic 2018 Seattle concert.
Night 2 in Seattle.
Yeah, they're caramel, buddy. Caramel chocolates made in collaboration with Filho chocolates. Is that any connection to Theo Epstein? I know Eddie and Theo are tight.
I don't know, but there appears to be, there's how many? There's 24? Is that what it says?
Yeah, I think so. But more importantly than all of this, just to be real with this, Vitalogy Foundation, obviously all of this is going to good cause. Where's our money going, Jason?
It is going to fight homelessness. And one thing that was mentioned at the 2018 show, and I will again remind you that I was there, was that they raised over $11 million to fight homelessness in the Seattle area. And I guess this is kind of a little tie-in with the Theo Chocolate Company to help kind of push that effort even more alongside this live stream of Night 2, August 10th, 2018, if I recall correctly. Inside the box, you get apple cider dark chocolate caramel, coffee milk chocolate caramel,
outstanding, and
salted vanilla dark chocolate caramel.
That's a winner too.
These are all made with organic and fair trade ingredients, soy-free and gluten-free.
Would you look at that, buddy?
Wow.
Hey, you know what? Can Pearl Jam come down here and do the exact same thing, but fight homelessness in LA? Because Lord knows we need it. Dude, it's an epidemic down here. It's really
not good.
No, it's not. It needs to be addressed. We're not going to go off the rails with this conversation. That was for another day, perhaps.
I'll just say that we both live by a number of highway underpasses, and there are many a tent.
Yeah,
let's just say that it's not good.
God bless all of these people on cold January and February evenings.
Yeah. Well, with that happy-go-lucky news out of the way,
chocolate.
Let's transition to our top 5 moments here and some of our own, right?
Yes, very excited. So, Jason, let's get into it. What are the top 5, buddy?
All right, let's go to number 5 here. Katowice, Poland, Night 2 that shouldn't have been. Oh, by the way.
Dude, I know bands that are going to be releasing songs in 2021 just like this one moment and claiming it's new but these guys were already doing it way back then, you know? So it just sounds great to me because it's trippy and it's complementary, you know, it's different things that merge into one. And I keep talking about things becoming just one, but it's just like how it sounds good to me.
What are we hearing there? Are we hearing delay and phaser?
Yeah, maybe phaser or vibe. I can't differentiate.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I mean, this is for Paul, really. The fact that we got sleight of hand in here.
Yeah.
I love that song.
As do I.
I think all of you like that song except for me. I'm trying to get warm to it. I'm trying to. It just, I don't know. I appreciate the trippiness of that section, that bridge there, but I don't know.
Look, this track to me has always demanded playing outside the box, and I love when they do stuff like this. It fits the tone of the song perfectly. Actually, Catuis was a great night for Black as well. If you want to hear a great Black solo, just check that one out. But this was a solid version, a great version of Sleight of Hand. It's exactly the kind of angle you want to come at that song with, I think.
All right, let's go to number 4, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 2003. I love this so much. I've always loved this song. I love that this is just a canvas for Mike to go crazy. I love the feedback. I love whatever effect that is. I can't tell. It sounds like a harmonizer of some sort or an octave. I don't know.
I would guess it's the feedback from Wah-Wah.
Oh, maybe. Good call.
Yeah, the open Wah-Wah pedal. Definitely one of the greatest moments of Mike's guitar playing. Love the dirty echoes stuff. It's crazy.
You guys don't play this song very often, do you?
No, but we do play it.
Who plays the solos in this one?
Luiz.
Ooh, Luiz, what do you think of this?
Every great Mike solo, you can kind of hear it before it even starts. You know,
Great point.
You can already hear the noise, and you just know it's coming. You just know it. And that is one of
sound bites
of those moments, you know. And this tone, oh my!
I love it.
I love it, dude.
That's the fake 59 strat.
Yes, actually 1960 strat. Exactly.
I love it,
dude. One of the good parts of being a band with Sergio is that I can hear great soundings and just like, Sergio, can you name it? Where's this coming from? And he has the answers. Most of the time, he has the answers, you know? So it makes it easier for me to go after the sound.
Well, I look forward to you trying to do what we just heard, because that would be a treat.
Dude, yeah.
Let's go to clip number 3. We're going to George Washington in 2006, night 1.
You know, with this song, I think one of the biggest complaints is how that song on the record fades out.
Yes.
And there's a version of it that I'm sure we all have where it doesn't fade out. And that's the version you want to hear, because to hear that ripping through and then fade that out, it's like, what are you doing here? You're like trying to turn the dial back up, you know? So this is exactly the way you want to hear it.
I don't know that I like the mix a lot, because I feel like Mike was a little bit lost in the left channel there. but you could tell he's going crazy. Did you guys like that?
Yeah, just pure shredding.
Yeah, I don't know if it, in my opinion, I don't know why is this solo making the cut. But okay, it's great and everything
Number
sounds
3.
great.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but okay. I'm fine with it. It has a lot of energy, you know. And I also think it could be the solo track could be a little louder.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all of the rest is making it sound shorter. I don't know.
Well, it's trying to be one, Luiz. All right. Let's go to number 2, Moline, Illinois in 2014. To Luiz's point about having the backing band really set the mood, I love what Stone's playing because ordinarily he's not playing a damn thing, maybe a couple of harmonics, but here he's playing a couple of chords here and there, setting a little bit more of a bed. And then you've got Mike with all this crazy delay stuff going on, which is normally not, I think, what you would hear on this solo. I really enjoyed it, and I'm an unabashed Garden lover, so I will throw that bias into the mix. What do you guys make of this?
I have another guess. It's 2014. They just released Lightning Bolt, and the Sirens live solo has the same kind of delay, long line delays with not so much modulation or dirty. They're a little bit cleaner. More pristine digital delay, I think. So I believe Mike maybe had a new pedal and was throwing up it on everything.
Luiz?
I gotta agree with you, Jason. The background was just on point. Stone was killing it. All his vibratos were great to me. And they just made it easier to Mike, and he killed it. Yeah, but all of the guys made it easier for him, you know. And this delay trick, it's just different, you know. Makes you really stop and listen to it, which is great to me.
Anything, Paul?
I'm gonna take a bit of a detour on this one. To me, with this particular solo, I didn't think you need the compliments. You could have turned all that stuff off and just listened to the solo, and I think that thing would have stood on its own with those delays and echoes. For some reason, it kind of felt like its own thing in a positive way, I guess. I don't know.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've arrived at number 1. We're going to 2003, State College, PA. At the time, it was the longest show in Pearl Jam history, eclipsing 95 Chicago. Let's go there. mentioned frenetic solos a long time ago. Holy Jesus!
Works here.
I like the slashy like wow part. He did something like Slash would have done.
Yeah, that's a good shout. Luiz, do you get ideas for solos listening to things like that?
Oh yeah, all the time. All the time. I'm always listening to get new ideas, you know. I like this one very much. The way it starts, it's up there, you know. It's very high.
This is an audio format, Luiz. People can't see you doing it.
Oh yeah, true. It's very high up on the neck of the guitar, you know. So once you start a solo on that area, to keep it up, my friend, you gotta have the tools to back it up, you know. So because if you already start, it's harder to just keep it up there. You know,
like, where do you go from there? You're already at the climaxy portion. You're starting from 80 miles an hour. Where do you go?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know,
but he knows.
So you gotta have the tools.
Well, guys, we've done it. We've gotten through all 20. Okay. I think overall it was a pretty solid list and pretty good stuff on there. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, that's not enough for us though. We got to have our own choices here, right? So let's lightning round through a couple of things that we like that are our choices. And Sergio, we're going to start off with yours. And let's see here. What do we got? It is, well, we'll play it and then you can tell us, where it's from and why and all that crap. Here we go.
Okay. So awesome.
Sergio, you gave us a good one here. I know Paul's excited. So you're picking from your own neck of the woods. Tell us what's going on here.
Yeah, 2005. This was the first Pearl Jam show in Rio de Janeiro since ever. So it was a very special moment for the fans. Unfortunately, I was not there at the time because I was broke and I was too young and I couldn't find the money to buy the ticket.
We've all been there.
Yeah, but fortunately, on the other hand, the concert was recorded by the major rock and roll radio station from Rio de Janeiro. So it was played over and over and over on the radio for the next couple months after the show. So you guys can picture how important this show was in our reality, in our rock and roll community. Nick was there at that show. Oh. And there's a very special moment on this solo that you can see the pictures if you Google it, with Mike playing the guitar with our flag, with the Brazilian flag.
Oh, cool.
Over his shoulder. So it's a very, very emotional moment because, man, it's Black. The first time it was played live here. So can you imagine how it is to listen to Black for the first time live? Is that moment, that emotion. And the solo is awesome because as we never heard it live, we didn't know he he would improvise a solo, because Black originally doesn't have a solo. And I love the rotary Leslie thing that he switches on at the last part of the solo. This very solo is the version that most inspired my version of this solo. So it's very, very personal. And I took it personal because the guy picked up the wrong Black solo to put on the
list. You just had to.
Yeah.
So up next, we'll go with Luis, and I'll play the clip, and then Luis can tell us all about it.
So this one to me is just pretty straightforward. It's one big punchline, you know. He gets into his pentatonic chops and he shows what he's got, you know. Maybe at some point it seems to me there's some open string lick, and then he gets back to it, you know. And it's just little different patterns combined, and they just get in, tell you that it's here, and then just gets out. To me, that's it. That's what it needed. That's what the song asked for.
So if you're playing at home, that was I'm going to butcher this pronunciation. Jubana, or Ljubljana, Slovenia in 2000.
Oh, yeah. Slovenia, yeah. I forgot to say it's live in Slovenia in 2000.
Paul, your first choice is this clip.
It's just a killer clip, man. I mean, it's what my favorite part about that song is the way the drums play off of, or I should say, the way Jeff plays off the drum beat. And there's something about rearranging the song this way where Stone's guitar essentially serves as the anchor for the song. And I've never heard the song done that way. They did it this way here in New York. And then, so this was June 25th, 2008. But then they did the same thing, but played differently at Bonnaroo, same year. And so those two versions to me are always standout versions, the way they reimagine the song. And when you hear the song played like that, it's just captivating. Honestly, it makes me think a lot of what you guys did with Brain of J, how you guys completely came at that song with a left hook instead of a right. And it was like, dude, this is awesome. So I like that with these tracks, you know?
I really loved it. I would definitely hear it over and over again.
Let's go to my first choice here. Let's have a listen. So, I love the Go riff. It's fantastic. Written by a drummer. There you go. But I don't know what's going on there because it's never played like this. I don't know if it's a rotary or if it's a univibe or what it's got on there, but it sounds so cool. And I remember, this is just it's got this phasey dimension to it. And it opens up the dynamics that are usually not there because usually it's kind of a straight ahead song. very kind of narrow in its I guess dynamics, for lack of a better word. So it just kind of thickens it up. There's a bit of a breath there that I think is really, really cool. So I thought that was a really cool moment. Let's go to Sergio's number 2 pick. Here that is.
2015 at Maracanã Stadium. It
back
was
in
the
Rio.
first. Yeah, back in Rio. It was the first Pearl Jam concert in Maracanã Stadium. So it's a pretty bigger concert than the previous 2. They did in Apoteose, which is the place we have the carnival. So to fill a stadium, it's a task to fill a stadium, and Maracanã was very, very crowded at that day. I was there with Nick, and I remember telling him how good tones were at that day. So I think it was the first time I realized that Stone has always great guitar tones live. So in studio, but it was amazing. Do the Evolution is a great one of the great solos he plays, and it's always a moment for him to show how good his tones are.
Very, very cool. Let's go to Luis's second choice right now. I have to say, I think it's interesting that you guys chose the exact same thing.
Track. Yeah, it's great.
And I intentionally put them back to back because I wanted to hear what Sergio had to say, and then boom, what did Luis have to say about this? And just so we know, this is 2000 in Barcelona.
Right. Yeah, again, great tone, crazy wah action. It doesn't have too many notes, and the note choices are simple again, but it doesn't matter because it's just melting, you know? It's just melting. I love it. I don't have a rational way to describe it, you know? It just hits me.
Do you play the Evolution solo?
Yeah. I do it. But I've never played it this dirty. Maybe I'll start now.
See, you're getting ideas. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, Paul's second clip is this one.
So first of all, Van Halen's debut album is arguably one of the top 5 greatest debut albums of all time. But you hear that guitar come in. He loves playing this song. I mean, he plays Eruption, right? And they love Van Halen, and they crushed it on this. So I don't know what else to say. I just love that moment. That
was my home city, really, Hartford, Connecticut, in 2013. I wish I could have been back home to listen to that. Good Lord.
My just face melting.
Oh God. Okay, my second choice is this. So 2000, East Troy, Wisconsin. It was like 2 degrees out. It was crazy cold. If you recall the touring band DVD, Mike's got like 13 layers on, and his leather jacket he can hardly move. He looks like George Costanza in his Gore-Tex jacket from Seinfeld. It's ridiculous. the bridge seemed really thick to me in this version, fatter, more intense. And it's the first time I ever realized that Mike plays that GBC chord thing in the what is it, the F shape, but he has the pinky thing where he does the suspended note. And it just adds a little on only on the last one, only on the last bar does he do that. And I just love that. And every time I listen to that, I always play that part because it always just sounds just extra nice for me.
That bridge is actually my favorite part of the song.
It is,
and it's one of the more underrated guitar parts in a Pearl Jam song, actually.
100%. All right, we're at the last round here. Last choice, Sergio's third and final choice. Here we go.
Again, it's Rio de Janeiro, 2018 this time. Our last Pearl Jam concert up to now. We were there as a band.
Nice.
All of Black Circle members were there. And it was a very, very funny night with some extra going on the show, like Chad Smith and Josh Klinghoffer from Red Hot Chili Peppers hanging on to play cowbells, and Josh played a live solo. It was very fun, a very, very remarkable moment, and I love the univibe sound on Mike's solo and Mike's tone, and I love Garden, so it was just a very remarkable moment from that night.
I like how you've chosen a song from the Americana on the same night that the Americana is hosting the Copa Libertadores final, and there is mayhem in the streets.
Right.
Nice little bookend there to that.
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously, we've given it away that we record a couple days early, but there you go. Okay, let's listen to Luis's final choice.
Sergio, why are you laughing, bro?
This is very cool.
Yeah, I knew you'd like it.
Tell us why we're going to Switzerland. Zurich, 2000.
Oh, yeah, right. This is just an awesome way of using the wah pedal, and not for a solo, it's for a different part. It's for a verse. And not many people can use a wah pedal in a good way with good taste, while the voice, the main voice, is still going. So I guess this is one of the situations in which they used it, and it stood out, but not over the voice. It was along with it,
Well, and to your point about a wah pedal, it takes all the frequency and kind of slams it and grabs it in the middle and then sweeps it across the spectrum.
Exactly.
So to be able to use that and not be in the same frequency as the vocals and have it all muddy, you got to be good.
And that he was trying his voice.
Yeah, sure. There's a really cool version of this song online by this band named Black Circle. And this dude Luiz does this awesome intro to it. You won't even see it coming. I highly recommend folks check it out.
It's incredible, guys. You guys should check them out. I think you'd like them. All right, Paul's final choice. Here we go.
Jason, when you asked me what are your top three, that was the first one that came to my mind. Of the last decade, arguably, it is my favorite guitar moment from the band live. They go from dueling to harmonizing. It's incredible. And Boom's addition to live shows is I don't think appreciated enough. And he was a centerpiece of that track right there, and I loved every minute of that.
What did I say to you when I listened to it back last night?
You texted me like, dude, I'm like losing myself. And
I said,
this is very close to the Imagining Corners version, isn't it?
I gotta find what I said because it was pretty funny. I don't know. I can't find it, but I dude, I'm listening to Crazy Mary. I just got lost in my own head. Fuck. It's incredible. It's incredible. Really, I don't know how you top that, but I'm going to try in the most contextually appropriate way possible with this clip from, it's Mike.
It's like we had two songs there.
Guys, good Lord. 2006, Pistoia, Italy, if you recall from the Imagining Corners film. It's in the middle of a Duomo, of a square in a small Italian village. Probably like 3,000 people there crammed into this square, this piazza. And there's just so many effects. It runs the gamut. He's got his usual Univibe thing going on with some thick dirt. He adds the rotary to the Univibe. He's got the wah going on. He speeds up the rotary. He turns it all off and goes clean at the very end. The people are clapping behind him perfectly. Holy Jesus. If that isn't like one of the best closing portions of Ledbetter, I don't know.
I'm with you.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
How mad is he in the end of the song?
Incredible.
Sounds fucking great.
Guys, we've done it.
Yeah.
It's been a marathon, but we've done it. And I want to thank you for helping us sort through this. You guys are guitar savants, and I appreciate your perspective on this. And when's the next Black Circle thing that we should be aware of?
I believe the next live stream will be happening on February 26th. Yeah, 26th.
February 26th. All right, guys. Thanks again, and we'll talk to you soon.
Been a pleasure, gentlemen. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, let's keep in touch. Thanks for the opportunity. This was great. We don't get to talk about guitar every day, right? So this has been a different thing for me and Sergio, and I'm definitely hyped on this.
Yeah, I was very excited to do this. You can thank. I would like to thank you for having us on board, and you can always have us here to talk about guitar and Pearl Jam.
Been a pleasure, gents. Thanks for coming aboard today.
Thank you once again to our friends Sergio and Luis. What a chat. What a couple of mentions.
You know, honestly, chatting guitar with those guys, it's not only a pleasure, it's actually a learning experience in a lot of ways.
It is, because they especially when Luis was talking about, band dynamics, just like behind a solo, for example. Sometimes people don't even think about that, but it is a subconscious thing you have to get right. Otherwise, the solo won't shine.
Yeah. So I appreciated that amongst all other.
And I will say that Luis sent us a message and said that he had a ton of fun because he never gets to talk guitar like that. So he was really, really jazzed that he got to do that. And we were jazzed to have him and Sergio, of course, because they're guitar nerds. And I'm just happy that all the guitar nerds in our circle, in our listening circle, got to listen to that because I learned something.
I think those listening should go check out some Black Circle tonight.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, you got a new video, Autumn Theory.
Yeah.
There's some really funny moments in there. Not least Nick Magnani winking at the camera. Anywho, let's move on to this week's lyric of the week. Paul, we're going to stay in the theme here of the 2000 to 2020 window. And we're going to go to 2009's Backspacer and Force of Nature. So Force of Nature, Paul, lead us off. What do you got?
I came across this quote from Eddie from the Toronto Globe, and they were asking him about this track back in, I guess, 2009. And Eddie said about Force of Nature, he said, it's about the strength of one person in the relationship when they can withstand some of the faults in another, maybe drug addiction or straying off the path. The person in the song is the lighthouse for the other person caught in the storm. And I think that you really see that coming through in these lyrics. But there's a sadness to a lot of this too. It's kind of hard to look at this without thinking that what it is that he wants, standing alone, waiting. Like the bit that gets me is like the eyes closed. You cannot know, but his heart don't seem to roam. The commitment is admirable, but it's hard to fathom the pain that somebody has to go through when you feel like you are being that lighthouse and you can't just throw out a lifeline and pull that person back in. That person has to learn to navigate and weather that storm, and all you can really do is shine a light. And there's an element of helplessness there that's it's born out of a vulnerability that I don't think gets talked about enough, because we focus so much time on the people in peril that we don't really we don't really ever talk about the experience of those who are trying to be the lighthouse, those who are trying to help, and the pain and the anguish that comes with loving someone so much and feeling like you just can't seem to guide them home no matter how hard you try. So I think, I can speak from experience, having been in a similar situation as this. And I know you have as well.
I was going to ask if you had been in a situation like this, because I certainly have. And
I know you have, yeah.
When reading these lyrics, funny enough, because I'm generally not a very optimistic person, I'm more, I consider myself a realistic person, which people then say, well, you're just being pessimistic. And I go, okay, potato, potato. But I was looking at this in a much more positive way. But before I get to that, I want to say that, you explaining your interpretation of Eddie's explanation of the song, it had me think about, that past relationship. And you're right. There's a helplessness there to trying to be the beacon, trying to do whatever you can to help that person find your lighthouse.
Right.
But what this song doesn't answer is, do they find it?
Right. It's unresolved. It's an ambiguous ending.
Which is funny because there's a phrase here, that you might think would disappear, resolving. But that's a one person resolution. That isn't necessarily a complete resolution.
Right.
With the person that's out to sea, as it were, in this metaphor. But so that's an interesting little open-ended thing there within this story, is how does it resolve? Because I can say that mine did not resolve the way that I had wanted to at the time.
Right.
This is many years ago, and I'm glad that the story went the way that it has, as is my current situation, But
yeah.
Anywho, the way that I kind of took this is a more positive way. It's kind of like the whole absence makes the heart grow fonder proverb. That's what they say, right? So, I can tell you from a different experience that this is true. And I'll say that, there was a couple summers ago, I worked in Europe for 6 weeks straight and away from family, wife. And I did it again the following year for 3 weeks, again in Europe for work. And it's tough to be far away from someone you love. And I look at these lyrics as like having love tunnel vision, a song only he hears, or in this case, she hears. I guess it'd be in my case, he hears, because I'm the one listening. And logically, you'd think that distance or absence might make someone fade from memory. And that's probably true with some friends or acquaintances. Like I know in the past, and I'm sure you have, many people have, that when I've moved or a friend has moved away and we no longer can see each other, hang out, that kind of thing, that change in proximity is enough to dissolve some of the affection that you have for them and vice versa. And it's not malicious or intentional or anything like that. It just kind of is.
Right.
And this dissolution means the communication becomes less frequent and you fall away from people. And it just kind of happens. But when you really love someone, the reverse sort of happens. That absence makes you stronger. It resolves, as the line says. The whole thing, one man stands alone. Yeah, because in this scope, there's no one else in your world. You feel isolated from the outside world, and that's how important this person is to you. A one-track mind kind of thing. So, you cannot know. Yeah, others cannot know. You, the royal you cannot know what this specific feeling is. You probably have your own version of this.
Right.
This connection is ours. And, the absence makes the heart grow, not roam. And that's home. And aside from that Dr. Seussness that I just did there, it's really a lovely way to kind of tell an age-old proverb, and what a title to go along with it, Force of Nature. So the way that I looked at it, is kind of out of character for me, and the way that Ed meant it makes a lot more sense. But it's interesting that, again, we find, basically the same piece of paper folded in half, and you have two versions of a similar story.
It's funny when I hear this song, I always think of Tremor Christ as well. Just the nautical imagery, they run parallel in so many ways. And I think lyrically, you see some parallels as well in terms of just the feeling of isolation, the feeling of helplessness. And it's funny, try listening to these two tracks back to back. I think sonically they don't mesh very well, but lyrically there's a through line, and it's an interesting narrative that gets woven. That being said, though, I mean, obviously 1994, 93 versus 2009. I mean, I think Eddie's coming from two very different places lyrically with these two tracks, but just to see the parallels, it was a unique exercise.
Even with the song Oceans.
Yeah.
There's some similarities there as well.
Right, I mean, exactly. So
currents will shift, glide me towards you. You know.
So we've got our car songs, right?
Yeah.
And that we've got our water songs, I suppose.
Maybe we'll be amongst the waves soon enough.
I suppose.
So. Okay. let's go to our last cut.
Let's move on.
Ready to stand up!
All right. Well, Force of Nature, Backspacer. Man, it seems like just yesterday we were at the Universal Amphitheater it's Gibson Amphitheater in Universal City, which is no longer a thing. Going to this tour and seeing these songs performed live, where are we going amongst this giant tour?
We're going home, Jason. We're going in a giant circle right back to where you and I are standing right now. So we're going to a fabled and no longer standing venue, the Gibson Amphitheater, where you and I saw a good handful of shows back in October of 2009. 3 or 4, they play 4 nights there. I'll never forget that I looked at that set list. I looked at the lineup and I thought to myself, oh, I'm going to do all 4 nights, but I was poor. And so I went for 3 nights and I was like, come on. Like, of course, the night I don't go is the night that Chris Cornell comes out and they do Hunger Strike. And I think Cantrell came out.
Cantrell came out this show.
This show, right.
That's it was. They split it up, but still.
So anyway, it was kind of like a cool, Seattle extravaganza to some extent. But this particular track, Force of Nature, is comfortably nestled in between present tense and, ironically, The Fixer. When you think about
gonna bring that up
exactly,
funny that you say that.
You think about some of the stuff we just talked about, and then following up with The Fixer just seems so apropos. So, as a version, it's very upbeat, and there's a certain level of optimism. So, if you, as a listener, want to make up the ending for yourself of that song, if you want to resolve that ambiguity with a sense of optimism, I think this particular version seems to carry that. The band, they were on point. They really, the song's tight. It sounds fantastic. To me, it's a great version. Obviously, having been to the show, there's this particular affinity that I have for this particular version. Not that that's a deal breaker, but it was, having seen it live, I have an even greater appreciation for this performance.
Cool. Well, let's head about a mile down the road. Yeah. And the Gibson Amphitheater, Universal City,
which
Los
is
Angeles.
Now the Harry Potter ride, apparently.
We're going to the Harry Potter ride.
Exactly.
Almost 11 years ago, October 7th, 2009. Yeah, Paul, you said it before. Sandwiched betwixt present tense and the fixer. How about, living in the moment can kind of be what allows you to feel alone enough to allow your heart to grow fonder. And then you get force of nature, and then you go to the fixer where it has a line like, when something's gone, I want to fight to get it back again.
Yeah, perfect.
It's this is a show where the set list is partially written by Patrick Warburton, the actor from, many, many shows like The Tick and Seinfeld. And I guess he was bringing his kid there to their first Pearl Jam concert. And I guess they went off script a bunch of times and plucked some songs out of thin air, and one of them being this one. But I remember that show fondly, and I remember hearing Force of Nature and being excited. And I think I texted you, Force of Nature.
Yeah, it was outstanding.
Lovely choice, my friend.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. You got your top 5 guitar moments, live guitar moments from 2020 with Sergio and Luiz. We picked our own extra bonus pieces. We hope you like those. Let us know if you've got choices of your own. If you went to a show, or if you just have a certain bootleg that you love, and you're like, man, I'll tell you what, Stone's opening riff to, whatever, from whenever, is great. Great, cool. So with that, we'll get to you next week with another fantastic new episode. And until we do, you've been listening to
The State of Love and Trust.